Hello, I'm Henry Keane. We are UATV English. We are online to give you the Ukrainian perspective of reality of war, peace, politics, and more. Watch in the episode. 1 million Russians lost and counting. Russia Day celebration explosive congratulation. Ukraine Southeastern Europe Summit result. Please know that by watching this very episode, you really help Ukraine to fight off Russian aggression. Please comment and subscribe to our channel while watching this episode, as it helps the voice of Ukraine to be heard around the globe. Welcome to the News Pulse. According to the Ukrainian Armed Forces General Staff, Russia's total military losses may surpass 1 million as early as tomorrow already. Of that figure, approximately 200,000 or more are believed to be KIA. This estimate aligns with assessments from a range of sources, including Western intelligence services and independent research institutions like the Center for Strategic and International Studies. Confirmed casualties of Russian military personnel have already exceeded 100,000, suggesting that the actual number of fatalities may well be in the hundreds of thousands. When including the wounded, disabled, missing, deserters, and others unfit for combat, the total number of Russian military losses has reached the 1 million mark. Despite the notorious disregard Russian authorities may show for their own troops, the laws of war and the constraints of military logistics apply universally. The key question remains: why does Russia continue to pursue such a reckless and self-destructive course in Ukraine, seemingly determined to plunge further into catastrophe?
They don't care of anything they have. It's as if tomorrow they'll get it all for free. As if tomorrow new strategic bombers, new people, and new technology will fall from the sky. None of that will happen. Even if someone wanted to give it all away for free, it simply doesn't exist. Neither Iran nor North Korea can give it, not even China.
Well, let us have some grim fun, shall we, counting the losses of Russia in the previous colonial wars and invasions. The Soviet Union's losses in the Afghan war in over 10 years, from 1978 to 1989, included approximately 15,000 killed officially. The war also resulted in significant losses for the Afghan people, with estimates ranging from 500,000 to 2 million civilian deaths. Additionally, the Soviet Union lost hundreds of aircraft and billions worth of other military equipment during the conflict, while the official death toll for Soviet troops is around 15,000. Unofficial estimates suggest that as many as 30,000 Soviet soldiers may have died in Afghanistan. Beyond these casualties, there were also countless injuries and other collateral losses. During the Chechen wars, Russia experienced substantial losses in personnel just as well. The First Chechen War in the 90s also resulted in significant casualties in personnel, with official figures indicating approximately 4,500 killed, 2,000 missing, and 20,000 wounded. Estimates for Chechen military death range, though, from 3,000 to 10,000, while civilian deaths are estimated up to 100,000. Additionally, the war caused immense displacements of Chechen people and damage to Chechnya. While specific figures of the losses in the Second Chechen War vary depending on the source, estimates suggest it ranged from 6,000 to 11,000 Russian soldiers killed during the Second Chechen War alone, with some estimates including over 14,000 deaths from 1999 to March 2005. Civilian deaths are estimated to be between 13,000 and 25,000. A recent intake into Russia's 102nd Motorized Rifle Regiment reveals a striking composition indeed. 8 Chinese nationals, 4 from the Caucasus, 3 Kenyans, 2 Colombians, as well as individuals from Iran, Ghana, Egypt and Bangladesh. In total, only 4 new recruits are actually ethnic Russians. Such a patchwork of foreign nationalities is reminiscent of the imperial armies of the early modern era, where conquered peoples were conscripted to fight under the banners of emperors and tsars. Despite the passage of centuries, the modern Russian military seems to operate on a similarly imperial model, and this is direct consequence and proof of numerous casualties in the occupier's army. So just to sum it up, as of June 11th midnight, Russian forces lost another 1,140 troops, killed or wounded, bringing the total number of Russian military casualties since the start of the full-scale invasion past 1 million. In the past 24 hours alone, Ukrainian defense forces also destroyed 6 tanks, 3 armored fighting vehicles, 47 artillery systems, 1 air defense system, 138 tactical drones, and 136 vehicles. Official data on casualties from either side remains scarce, of course, for obvious reasons, but Russia last released an official death toll in September 2022, citing only 5,937 fatalities by the end of May 2025. Russian independent media, though, had verified the names of over 110,000 killed in action, with the highest number of confirmed deaths per capita recorded in Tuva Republic, 120 fatalities for just 10,000 men. And this means that real numbers could be up to 2 times more, 200,000 killed in action. By the way, it's Russia National Day today, the sub-equivalent of an Independence Day of sorts in other countries, and substitution of constitution for Russia indeed, and they will celebrate it, no doubt about that. I'm not surprised when people around the world keep on asking me, Henry, what about Bucha? Bucha really happened? Or did Russia really abduct 20,000 Ukrainian children? Or did Russia really kill civilians and children in Sumy with cluster bombs? Well, let us all ask someone who surely knows the truth, but does not seem to care, really.
On behalf of the American people, I want to congratulate the Russian people on Russia Day. The United States remains committed to supporting the Russian people as they continue to build on their aspirations for a better future. The U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio on the Department of State website.
Well, here's the true social for Mr. Rubio. He's not the only one to congratulate great Russian people with their national holiday. This is a photo of a Ukrainian soldier released from a recent prisoner swap. Russians have tortured him and cut an inscription on his body, words Slava Rossii, glory to Russia, leaving many more terrible scars. This is Russia, Mr. Secretary of State Rubio. These are Russian people who have well proved themselves as occupiers when they annexed Crimea. And then starting from February 2022, for 3 years in a row, your beloved Russian people were building their aspirations to destroy Ukraine as they considered that a better future for Russia. And we see America is quite okay with such Russian aspirations, as United States, in the face of Trump's administration, distances itself from the reality, choosing to be a friend to Russian oil, gas, and nuclear club rather than to stand for human values that are represented in American Constitution and fought for by Ukraine. State Secretary Rubio is not the first one who is trying to neglect reality and appease a monster on someone else's account. And he certainly won't be the first one to be hit back by that very neglected reality harder than he thinks. As being a friend of Russia may seem to have many benefits indeed, until for a reason that you just can't predict or control, you cease to be a friend to Russia. And then you become a target.
We are martyrs, will go to heaven, and they will just croak. Russian dictator Vladimir Putin.
But what about Donald Trump? A man who brought an image of the President of the United States to a new high or low, suit yourself, but he once tried indeed to look manly.
Within 2 weeks, we are gonna find out whether or not Putin is stepping us alone or not. And if he is, we'll respond a little bit differently. President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
So 2 weeks passed, and our matador is looking quite a doormat, as Kyiv bombed heavily. Civilians and children die on the streets in Ukraine every day. And all Trump's administration is saying is that it was Ukraine who provoked it by destroying Russian strategic bombers, and the Secretary of State congratulates Russians on their day and their aspirations for a better future, even if that future means a destruction of sovereign Ukraine. I guess we all have to just wait for the American nation to get itself finally a decent administration that will really put America's interest first, by making it a beacon of freedom for the world rather than a beacon of appeasement for Putin. It is a relief indeed to learn that the world calls a spade, some countries at least. The UK raises almost £1.7 billion for the purchase of weapons for Ukraine. Ukrainian Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal said that the funds will be used to purchase various types of military equipment, in particular rapid ranger anti-aircraft missile systems and Marlet light missiles. This is part of strengthening the country's defense capabilities in the face of growing Russian threats. This is a significant step in strengthening our security and cooperation with Britain, Shmyhal said. We don't mind. Let Russians celebrate, but let them never forget this is war, not a special operation, not a background crisis, a full-scale war that Russia launched against Ukraine, by the way. And it is coming back to them in the form of explosions, drones, and air raid sirens. On the night of June 11th to 12th, we reminded them that no holiday will ever be a comfort zone for the aggressor. This time, our birds flew to the Moscow region, and not quite randomly. The target had clear technical significance. Around midnight, drones struck the Rezonit enterprise in village of Zubovo. The products manufactured by the company are used, amongst other things, in automotive electronics, communications, measuring devices, and fire and security systems. Some products are also utilized in the aerospace and defense industries. Early in the morning, the Russian Ministry of Defense reported that 52 drones were allegedly shot down overnight, including 3 over the Moscow region. Well, let them count their intercepted drones. We don't mind. Let them write reports in the morning. Meanwhile, we'll just keep reminding them this war has consequences, and the bill is only starting to come due. And the president of Czech Republic, Petr Pavel, also congratulated Russia with demands of tougher sanctions and the need to push Russia to the brink of economic collapse.
We need to keep support of Ukraine, providing military equipment, material, financial support to sustain their defense. But at the same time, to push Russia to the table, we really need much stricter sanctions and measures than up to now. Russia is not in a good economic situation. They are not in a good financial situation. And the only way how to convince President Putin that the time has come to sit to the table is really to push him to the brink of economic collapse.
And we have another important event, yet one might see it as insignificant, but cooperation between Ukraine and South Europe countries is of strategic importance indeed. Each partner and ally for us is less allies for the aggressor. Learn more details in the report.
Russia views Ukraine as a military staging ground for future invasions. This was stated by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky during the opening of the Southeast Europe Summit held in Odessa. The president emphasized that Russia's goal remains the capture of Odessa, with further advances toward the borders of Moldova and Romania.
Odessa has always been a gateway, and today it is the gateway to our shared security, the security of Southeast Europe. The safety of this city and of the Black Sea are inseparable. This has been clear to Ukraine since 2014 and became clear to the entire continent in 2022.
A key message of the high-level summit was that strengthening Europe-wide resistance to Russian aggression is essential to the continent's security.
We must stand united against threats to a peaceful, democratic, and secure Ukraine, a country that stands as Europe's outpost and leader in defense. We now need to recognize that Ukraine's accession to the EU and NATO is a guarantee of peace and security for our entire region.
Summit participants expressed readiness to support Ukraine, not only militarily. Serbian President Aleksandar Vučić, who visited Ukraine for the first time, stated that Serbia supports Ukraine's territorial integrity and is prepared to help rebuild 1 or 2 cities or regions affected by Russian attacks.
If a ceasefire or truce is reached, we could be of help. I would like to take responsibility for rebuilding 1 or 2 cities or regions so that the Ukrainian people see clear support. This would be similar to what Azerbaijan has done here. And when it comes to supporting your territorial integrity, you can always count on us.
Croatian Prime Minister Andrej Plenković said his country is ready to help rehabilitate and treat Ukrainian soldiers in Croatia, as well as support children's recovery. This October, Croatia will host the first international conference dedicated to supporting Ukrainian veterans.
We have already held 3 Ukraine-Croatia conferences, one at the parliamentary level, another on humanitarian demining, and a third in Dubrovnik. The fourth, which we are now preparing, will focus on veteran rehabilitation based on our own wartime experience.
The Prime Minister of Greece proposed a transportation corridor running through Romania and ending in Odessa. He noted that such a project would mark another step toward Ukraine's European integration.
I envision Odessa as part of an ambitious transport project, beginning at the port of Alexandroupoli, running through Constanza, and ending in Odessa. This could be funded by the EU and would include gas pipelines, railways, and electricity. It would be a project that opens a new corridor for Ukraine.
Summit representatives also reiterated that all sides support a full and lasting ceasefire in Ukraine, but only on terms acceptable to Ukraine. Reported by Ksenia Sitinska from Odessa, UATV News.
But that's all, folks, for today. My name is Henry Keane, and we are UATV English, working hard to reveal Ukrainian perspective of reality of war for you. Please comment and subscribe. Your presence matters a lot as it helps us fighting off Russian criminal aggression. Remember, we are fighting for the same values you would: freedom and sovereignty. Stay safe and tuned for more. Already tomorrow it was News Pulse. See you right at the next beat. Goodbye.